Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners, proudly brought to you by One Equine for the equine athlete. We're back at Albion Park, 9 races. Of course, this meeting coincides with the richest race in the world on Saturday night down in Sydney at Menangle, and there's plenty of Queensland representation in that race, the Tab Eureka, so we wish all the connections the very best of luck. But we've got 9 here at the Creek, and we start at 5:44. It's a good program as well. In this edition of Weekend Winners, we're going to catch up with Ricky Thurlow and Matty Elkins. Ricky Thurlow jumps in the hot seat to go through his book of drives on Saturday night, and he joins me now. Ricky, appreciate the time.
Good morning, Chris.
Bangkok DJ, race 1 on Saturday night. This is a good pickup drive for you. He's a nice horse, nice trailing draw. He's first up, but what are the expectations?
Well, I haven't driven him before, but Shane gave me a call this morning and asked if I could drive. Angus is down in Sydney, but by all reports, his trial was good last week, and he's actually got quite a good draw for that race. A lot of speed in front of him, so he should just be stalking the speed, and hopefully he gets a bit of luck late and he'll be getting home over the top of him.
Okay, you know this horse well. You've raced against him. You've seen him race a lot throughout his career. He's more than talented, and he's got good change-up speed. So with this draw, if they overdo it, he could be close to the money here.
Yeah, for sure. He's always been a handy horse. So you know, given the way the draw is, you know, you've got 2, 3, and 4 will all come off the gate pretty quick, I'd imagine, and you know, they'll all be looking to find the fence, and hopefully I'm just sitting behind them without doing a lot of work, and you know, the business end, he'll be getting home over the top of them.
All right, well, that's Bangkok DJ race 1. What about race 2? You've got the 2 runners here, Smithy's Terror and Kingmaker. You've opted for Kingmaker. Is there much between these 2 guys right now?
Probably not. I probably chose to drive Kingmaker because he's a bit of a favourite of mine. You know, he's been here for quite a while. It's been well documented. You know, he had a spiral fracture of a back leg going back a year and a bit ago, and you know, it's good to see him get back to the races, and he's still got his zest for it, and you know, given the right run, which he should get on Saturday night, he'd be a sneaky chance because he can follow any speed, and as we've seen in a few of his races, you know, driven quiet and tucked away, he can show some blistering speed when he gets out.
Okay, looking at the recent sort of races of this grade, they normally like to roll along, so this could be a perfect setup for him in many ways.
Yeah, it could be. You know, he's got the good draw to figure in the race, and hopefully that he gets a good trip. You know, he's following some nice horses. Turn it up, drops a lot in grade. You know, dropping back from 3-for-allers, although he's drawn outside the back row. You know, he's still probably the class horse in the race. Okay,
what about Smithy's Terror? He's going super at the moment. He's won 3 of his last 5. How does this rise in grade sort of look for you with him?
Yeah, it's probably a rising grade on what he's recently been racing, but if you go back through his form, like he was quite a handy horse, you know, racing against the elite level down in Sydney before he come up. So, but yeah, it's a step up in grade to what he's been racing recently. But once again, he's a horse that can follow speed and you know, get home quite well. So if they go hard, it's not going to bother him. Yeah, it is a little step up in grade to what he's raced recently, but you know, he's going as well as ever, and I don't think the grade will worry him. He just needs a good trip in the run. Got Brendan on, so he should look after him quite well.
Okay, so he's been a quiet achiever in many ways, Smithy's Terror, but to you, he's going as well as ever, and he's been a good addition to the stable.
Yeah, for sure. He's a horse that's been up here quite a few months now, and you know, we had a go at stands with him, and it's not his ideal. He's a bit fractious, but he does like that way of racing. But he's a horse that, even though his form says that he's going good his last 3 starts, he's actually been going good for quite a while and just hasn't had a lot of luck. And you know, unfortunate for the horse, you know, he was just drawing bad, and we, you know, have to drive him quiet, and you know, he didn't get good trips there, here and there, but the horse has actually been going good for quite a length of time.
It does make it tough when they've got that high NR rating to find the right races to build them back up.
Yeah, it does. You know, I've been fortunate that he was a up to 90 rater, and I could use junior drivers and get him back into an up to 90 that actually stood up. So, you know, and he won a couple of them, and you know, the juniors that drove him did a real good job on him, and you know, Saturday night. If he gets a good trip, you know, there's not a lot between him and Kingmaker. You know, his form numerically looks better than Kingmaker's at the minute, but no, they're both going well.
Okay, race 4, this is the trot. You picked up the drive here on Son of a Son. Now, this is a good catch drive here because this guy has been a good addition to the Queensland trotting ranks. He's a last start winner. He beat Victory Hill, who looks like he's going to be probably the favourite for this race. How do you sort of assess Son of a Son?
Yeah, I don't. I haven't got a trotter myself at the moment, so generally I'm not here till the last race at Albion, but I did watch his last win, and it was quite a good win. Adam got him away, and he ended up finding the front. But I think he's a little quirky, so I might have to have a chat to Adam and just see what how the best to get him away. Because I think once he steps away, you know, he trots fairly well. The horse of Shane Graham's went really good last start, so I'd imagine he'd be the one to beat.
Okay, do you like driving the trotters?
I do, actually. I love driving the trotters, and haven't had one in our stable for a little bit, but I might have to look for another one because I do enjoy driving them, yeah.
Okay, the other key thing there, as you said, normally they are the last race. They've looked after you here on Saturday night. You get on and it's race 4.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Okay, race 5. This race is the band 5 for the mares. Jessica is your drive here. Drawn the inside of the second row. I don't think a win's too far away.
No, she's a mare that I drove 2 or 3 starts ago and didn't have a lot of luck on her. I sort of tried to drive her a little conservative, and things didn't go her way. Since that, she's raced in a couple of the mares' opens, which you know, she wasn't found wanting. You know, she was there. She didn't have a lot of luck, and she didn't have a lot of luck last Saturday night. So she's in a winnable race back to a band 5 mares as opposed to the open.
Okay, ideal scenario, the one holds and you're right behind her. Is that the ideal situation?
That would be the ideal situation, although I do think the one will probably opt for a sit, you know, but hopefully I can keep his back and be handy enough.
All right, bottom line with Jessica, she is going better than what that numerical form reads.
Yeah, for sure,
Okay.
yeah, and I wouldn't be frightened to drive her a little bit, like she's one of the better horses in the race too.
All right, race 6. This is a race for the mares again here. Cover Girl. Now, I'm keen to get your thoughts on this mare. She's a very talented type. Is she going okay without a great deal of luck, or is she going really well with no luck at all?
She's going really well, actually. You know, even coming back this time in, her trials were good. Her races have been really good. She just hasn't had any luck with the draws. You know, as soon as she draws handy, I think she'll be winning. Unfortunately, Saturday night, she's drawn outside the back. It's probably not a terrible draw, to be honest, because she'll be straight in the running line, and if she's handy enough, she's going quite well, so a win wouldn't surprise.
Okay, RDB Mickey, Queensland Oaks winner, lines up in this race, and she's drawn gate 7. Looked good in a recent trial. She's obviously the horse you've got to beat.
Yeah, for sure. She's quite a nice horse, you know, but she's drawn 7, and it'd be to my advantage if, you know, she had to do a lot of work early and go forward, and then hopefully we're close enough and we could get over the top of them. But if you're following Cover Girl, I wouldn't jump off the bandwagon. I'd just wait. When she gets a good draw, she'll be hard to beat.
All right. Race 7, again for the mares. This is the open. It's Ebony and Ivory. Low flying. She loves it here in Queensland. But this is a challenge for her. The outside of the front row, Chinchilla drawn to your inside. Should be a good race.
Yeah, it's good to see the open mares standing up every week. You know, unfortunately for me, Chinchilla's drawn inside me once again. But it's Ebony and Ivory. She's since she come up to Queensland, you know, 6 weeks or so before the Winter Carnival, she's actually really loved the weather and the lifestyle up here. And you know, week in, week out, she puts a good run in. I don't think she's ever run a bad race. And unfortunately, over the Carnival, she was drawing bad and not having a lot of luck against the better class mares. You know, racing parked, which she has done recently in the last 3 or 4 starts, is probably not ideal for her, but you know, she's still racing competitive, and unfortunately I draw 7 every week because it's NR, but maybe one day we'll put a random on and give me a chance.
I'll tell you one thing, in these open mares races, they don't give an inch. They'll be flying along in this race like they are every week.
They do, actually, and you've got quite a few handy mares that are drawn to the inside. And like you know, it's very even. Like three runs ago, Diamond Shoes sat on my back and beat me, and then, you know, a couple of runs I sat parked and it couldn't run past me. So, you know, whoever's you know, good on the night can win. But Chinchilla's quite a nice horse, and unfortunately, as I say, she's drawn underneath me, and I can't see myself getting in front of her. So, yeah, once again, she'll be hard to beat. But Ebony will do her best, and hopefully it's good enough.
All right, busy night for you on Saturday night. Which drive are you most looking forward to?
Kingmaker, actually. I like Kingmaker, but a couple of the other drives, the Bangkok DJ, he's a good drive, you know, with a good draw sitting behind him. You know, there's some nice horses there, so it's always nice to jump on a couple of nice horses.
Excellent. Hey, really appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Thanks, Chris.
Matty Elkins is now joining us to go through his drives on Saturday night. It's been a big week for Matt. It's another birthday celebration during the week. He joins us now. Matty, appreciate the time, and belated happy birthday as well.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
All right, you've got a busy night, a good night coming up on Saturday night, what appears to be a good night on paper. Two runners in this first race, Royal Speech and Art Jester, both horses going super.
Yeah, they are. They've sort of been very consistent for the last couple of months and racing very well.
Royal Speech, let's dig into this guy a bit deeper. He's now had the 4 local runs. He's won 3 of them, and he looks really impressive. Have we got to the bottom of him just yet?
No, I don't think so. You know, he stomped out that big mile in the trial, and probably since then I've wrapped him in cotton wool and looked after him and haven't sort of asked much from him.
Okay, how did you grade him last week? What was the assessment of last week's victory?
Yeah, he done that pretty easy. As I said, I've sort of been looking after him at home and trying to save gears for when we get up in grade, and been pretty kind to him, and he's sort of taken it all before him, and he feels to me like he hasn't really got out of first gear yet.
Okay, now that's important, and the other key thing with Royal Speech, he hasn't really had a good draw. He gets one here on Saturday night, what appears to be a good draw on paper, gate 3, but you've got speed to your inside. How does this shake out early?
Yeah, look, we probably don't have a lot of early speed ourselves, but as you see the way he races, it doesn't sort of bother him or me, because, you know, we can put him into the race when we like, and it's probably tempo related early. I'd sort of hope they go hard, we get in and put him into the race when we want.
Okay, so ideally, where would you like to be sitting? Do you think there's a possibility you might get left parked out here?
Yeah, I don't think we'll be waltzing to the top this week, but I'm not going to be afraid to park up in the big chair and see what we can run.
Okay, Danger Zone drawn to your inside. He looked impressive last week. It's a good quality race.
Yeah, it's a very even field and good field. You know, I think he's going to have to step up a level this week. He sort of had it all his own way the last few out in front, but as I say, I think there's still more gears there, and I think he will have to step up one this week.
So that being said, Summer Carnival features, they're going to be upon us very soon. Do you start looking at them?
Yeah, look, if he comes out and wins this field and sort of goes as well as I think he can, we might have to start thinking, but you know, at the moment we'll just keep ticking over and turning up through these band races. All
right, just going back to the very beginning when he first arrived at your stable, what were the expectations? Did you think he would be capable of what he's delivering right now?
No, you know, he was a well-performed horse. I think he'd won 19 races before he joined us, and he'd never actually led and won. So he's not a one-dimensional horse by no means. You know, you've got to have some ability to win 19 races, and to not win one of them in front shows he had some ability there. Okay,
Art Jester on the other hand, going really well. Could this be a sticky draw for him?
Yeah, he's just an opportunist, as we've worked out, and sort of driving in that way, it's kept him up, and he's been ever so consistent lately and always hits the line hard. But, you know, he can float forward and look for a spot early, but I'll leave that up to Narissa.
Okay, a win wouldn't surprise though.
No, that's for sure. You know, he was in this sort of race last week and was peeling off some good ground behind Danger Zone, and he sort of got held up there. So with the right run, he's quite competitive with most horses.
All right. Race 2. This is the Band 4, Band 2 race. You're driving Mr. McLaren again. What did you make of last week?
Yeah, he was a little plain last week, to be fair. Couldn't have been happier the week before. I was absolutely wrapped with the feel he gave and how he went. And then last week, probably getting left out, parked out there for a little while, and got a bit grubby. Probably doesn't suit him, but you know, we just wipe that one out and go back to the week before.
Okay, sectionally he was still okay last week, but just going back to that run 2 starts ago, second behind Black Sedans, You peeled at the top of the straight. He looked like he just swelled up. Did you think you were a chance of getting Black Sedance that night?
I did, to be honest. From the forward of the corner, he couldn't have felt any better, and he was hard on a helmet. And I really did think I was a good shot when I flipped him out. But to Black Sedance's credit, I think he's back right in his A-game zone. And as soon as I popped off his helmet, he seemed to just take off and go to another gear.
Okay. He's got good gate speed. He draws 3. There's some speed drawn to your inside. What's likely to happen at the start here?
Yeah, not sure, you know. I'd love to put him on the front end, sort of the feel he gave me that first week I drove him, but Northview Hustler's got good speed early, and if we overdo him early and don't get a helmet, he can over-race. So we just have to come off the gate and work it out pretty quickly.
Turn It Up's dropping significantly in grade. Is he the horse to beat?
Definitely, but with him having the second row, at least it's leaving the first corner up for grabs.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Moving to race 3. 2 runners again for you here. Major Mickey Gate 2, Midnight Calm in 6. You're opting to drive Midnight Calm. Was that an easy choice, or did you have to weigh that up?
No, I actually own Midnight Calm, so I was forced to drive him there. But, you know, I quite like Major Mickey. I think his run here last week was quite good, and he seems to be building and improving each week. So he's got the good draw and going well. But at the same time, Midnight Calm goes fresh in here for a little while, and I couldn't be any happier with where he's at.
Okay, just on Major Mickey, Gate 2, last week's second row draw. What are we expecting with gate speed this week?
Well, Narissa gets the keys, so I reckon he might be rolling out the gate. I would love to see him up on the front end. I think the sort of feel he's given me the last 2 weeks, he keeps coming at the 1 speed, and maybe doesn't have the change-up speed yet, but he gives a feel he'll run all day.
He was more than okay last week.
Yeah, I actually gave him a good chance going into that race, and things to that first corner didn't really work out when the 1 got off the fence, and what I thought was going to be an easy 1-1 ended up being sitting second last, and you know, he made up good ground in a strong mile, and I was real happy.
All right, with Midnight Calm going well, but is he just starting to test the friendship a little bit with you?
No, he was racing well. His last start was atrocious, and then he was actually scratched 2 weeks ago, and I was wrapped with his work into that race, and sort of since then I couldn't have been happy with him at home, and I think he's right back in the zone, to be honest.
Okay. This looks really open on paper. Is there anything in that field that stands out for you?
It's pretty open. I think, what's Doug Hewitt's, the Beers?
Good old Boys and Beer, yeah.
Yeah, it looked pretty impressive here when it's found the front, so to me it probably looks the most hardest to beat.
Okay. Going across to race 5, Carly Morgan. Most importantly, she gets barrier 1 this week, going really well. Are you thrilled with the way she's performing?
Yeah, she's given me a little shock, to be honest. You know, she sort of hit the Winter Carnival, and it was a hard race as the mares race, and we tipped her out for a break, and her 4 runs back have been excellent.
So is that just a drop back in grade for her, the turnaround, or what do you put it down to, just a change in work?
Yeah, it was getting hard. You know, sort of Luke had those mares up here in the band 5s every week, and after being in the paddock for a week, we actually discovered she had a abscess blowout of a foot, and I think that sort of helped her a lot too.
Do you want to hold the front from this draw, or are you happy to hand over?
No, we're holding this week. We drew 1 first run back, and I think I got a little worried about me training and where she was at first up, and took a sit after the first quarter. But looking back at that night, I think if I held up, she would have went close. And last time she let up, I think she ran a 26 last quarter. So she's going well. We've got the draw. We don't get them very often with her. We want to play from the front end.
Okay, so she's well up to winning this race, Carly Morgan, going well. There's no doubt about it. You've picked up the drive in race 6 on Where the Boys Are. First time sitting behind this mare. You're up against the Queensland Oaks winner in RDB Mickey. Any expectations here?
I'll correct you there. I've driven her once before.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
But no, she goes quite okay. She's got good speed. She can be a little headstrong, so we sort of got to go with her early. But as of most of us in that race, I think we might be driving for second.
Okay, you're right. You ran 5th that night.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So she's a place chance.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, aside from the 7 RDB Mickey, it's a pretty open race, and there'll be plenty of us lining up for the place money.
All right, you've got some good chances here. I reckon I know which one you're going to circle, but which one are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, you got to go with race 1, Royal Speech.
Okay, well, it's not the one I was thinking. You gave me a good push for Carly Morgan, so Royal Speech it is. Race 1, number 3. So there you have it. You've got me twice there in the matter of a couple of seconds. Hey, as always, appreciate the time. Happy birthday. We'll see you trackside.
Thank you.
A big thanks to both of our drivers giving up their time and insights ahead of the weekend, Ricky Thurlow and Matty Elkins. Big birthday shout out to Matty as well, hoping he gets plenty of success this Saturday night. Time now to find a winner or two, and this one, it's got the red flashing light on its head. That is Victory Hill in the trot, race 4, number 3. Outstanding run here last time out in defeat. Running second behind Son of a Son. He can easily turn the tables. Everyone saw the sectionals that this guy was able to peel off last time out. This is a very winnable race for him. He's a Q-bred trotter as well, and he'll score here on Saturday night. Yes, indeed, he is the best bet. Race 4, number 3. Victory Hill, super keen on him. Like I said, 9 races on Saturday night. Great night to be here at the Creek. It's a great night down in Sydney as well with the Tab Eureka. Wishing all of the Queenslanders the very best of luck. If you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly. We'll see you at Albion Park this weekend.